Hey, good morning, everyone. So what we're about to do here is start a brand new series. Yesterday evening, I sent out a video to my subscribers asking them what topics they want me to cover, and got a lot of great topics coming back. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to create a series called Subscriber Questions, in which I go ahead and take one question and kind of address it, sort of start to finish. Again, 100% subscriber driven. So first question is, sort of document for us how you got started with this whole one rental at a time story, and tell us about those original purchases. So I've gone through these a couple of different times on various podcasts, but I don't think I've actually addressed them on this channel. So if you will, rewind the clock with me to about 2003. In 2003, we started this one rental at a time story with about $40,000. After a year of trying to find something that worked, we purchased a property for right around $100,000. Not knowing any better, we put 20% down and we got an 80% mortgage. That property rented for just about $1,100. After all things considered, it cash flowed just a little bit north of $100. So that was our first deal, right? We put 20% down, and we spent roughly half of our $40,000 on that property. What we quickly realized is that the lending market was easier than that. And what we did about 6 months later is we bought our next property, again, for right around $100,000. However, instead of spending $20,000 on the down payment, we only spent $10,000. What we did is we had an 80% first, a 10% second, and then we put $10,000 down. So that is our second purchase. Again, that property produced just over $100 a month in cash flow at the time. Again, fast forward about 6 months, and we did a third property. Again, an 80% first, 10% second, and 10% down. That too was about $10,000 down. I think that one was actually about $11,000, because I think that purchase was $110,000. So that's how we spent the first, $40,000 roughly. That was actually about a span of 18 months, probably, right? Because we bought one about every 6 months. It took that time to get comfortable with each purchase. It took time to just make sure that this was the right thing for us. Right? We didn't rush in. We didn't buy 3 in a weekend or something like that. Then a funny thing happened. We realized, because now now it's about 2005, maybe early 2006. The market we were in, Fresno, had been appreciating really well. So what we did is we went back and did a cash out refi. So that first house we bought for $100,000, we had an $80,000 first. I think we refied it when the value was about $170,000. And what we did then is we put just because the lending environment was so easy, we put an 80% first and a 10% second, and we were given a check for, almost $60,000 as I recall. Let's call it $50,000 for this channel. So the question is, what would you do, right? You have $50,000 now. What do you go do? Well, if you know anything about our story, we plowed all of that money back into real estate. That one cash out refi was good because it allowed us to buy 2 additional properties with roughly $25,000 down. It was bad though, and I talk about this in my book. That one property that was cash flow positive turned negative. And it was painful every month, right? It was what I now call an alligator property, because I don't think negative cash flow is painful enough. That property that was producing pretty consistently over $100 a month for us, right, in real spendable money, now was negative most months a couple of $100. So I had to pay it out of my pocket. Now I get the fact that the other 2 properties I bought covered that and all of those things, but I'm a firm believer in conservative financing. I'm a firm believer in having no assets that are alligators. And that was a mistake, right? Looking back on it. So you've heard me say it 100 times, and I'll say it 100 more. Never buy or create alligator properties. I certainly did. But, that first property, again, we did a cash out refi. It allowed us to buy the next 2 properties, which we did. So now we're at 5. What we did is we went back again about 6 months later and did a refinance on the second property, pulled out about 25 grand because that was, remember that one we only put 10% down. So we had less money to take out, which got us another house. And then the final one we did again is we refinanced that third property we purchased, and we bought another property. So that's how we really started. We took that $40,000. We let time go by, we let appreciation happen, and then we went back to the banks and refinanced them. I'll just take this one step further because this video is already getting pretty long. What we did then, and I've done a couple of videos on that, is the prices kept going higher and higher and higher, and we just couldn't buy anything more. So what we did is we kept saving money, but we started doing 1031 exchanges. So that first house we bought for 100, we refied it, I don't know what it was, 170. We ended up selling for 265. And what we did is we did a 1031 exchange, moving about 100 grand into an apartment building. So that one house turned into 5 units. That second property we bought, that turned into 10 units. And, that third and fourth property we bought turned into 18. And pretty soon what we did is we sold those first 7 or 8 properties, and we ended up with 80 units in small apartment buildings. Then the crash happened. And we kept buying and using private money and lots of things to keep building the portfolio. So that's how we got started. This video may make, this topic may make more sense in a PowerPoint so you can actually see the pictures. But I wanted to make sure we created a video and we kind of addressed the question, because that's what I want to do. Is when a subscriber asks a question, we are now going to use this subscriber series and answer them. So do me a favor, if you like the video, hit subscribe. It's important. We're trying to build a community here, and please ask questions. Take care. Bye.